Hey everybody out there, Chris and Mike here, and welcome back to another Indies comic book review. This time we are getting a little too excited there, buddy.
What's the indie comic review? Indies.
I'm too excited.
And
this week we have no books that didn't come out this week.
Right.
It's all books that did come out this week. Hooray! So let's start with the two physical books. I am giving you guys a heads up warning.
Oops. Sorry about
I
that.
should have given myself a heads up warning for that. You guys a heads up warning. Unfortunately, this week I didn't read as much as Mike, so this new review is going to be very Mike heavy.
Yes. And I have read the books.
Very good.
Yes. So let's start with the comic books.
I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this book.
Yes. This is from Vertigo Comics of Dead Boy Detectives, issue number 1. And for those of you who have been seeing the past review episodes, I did tell you I was going to get Dead Boy Detectives, and I have to admit, I'm actually glad I got it. Long story short...
I'm glad I recommended it.
You're welcome. So it talks about two boys right here who are ghosts, actually. And, you know, it talks a little bit about themselves. It kind of reminds me of the Hardy Boys. Like, it gives you that... Not the Hardy Boys, the Hardy Boys. And it gives you that feeling of that part. There's a big thing that's going on in the Washington, D.C. And this girl is with a family who are mostly robbers. And there's an art portrait that they're letting them steal because they're going to put a new picture in it. It's a long story behind that. And the two boys saved the picture because they thought it's wrong to steal, and I don't blame them because it's it's really wrong to steal. And they also saved the girl. The names are Charles and I think the other one's John, because like Charles was crazy about this girl that he saved that was in the hospital. Here's some artwork actually, which is really nicely drawn. And the girl said that she saw the ghost who saved her, and because of that she wants to go to a school called St. Hilarions. And the two boys, they talk about when they went there, how they were bullied, and they're afraid that they're gonna bully her in some sort of way. And Edwin, the other boy's Edwin, so it's Charles and Edwin. And they talk about their past when they went to St. Hilarions and how it was good at first, but then turned out to be a total nightmare, but they found their own homes. This is my favorite part, when Edwin tells Charles about the girls he fell in love with and how they took over the treehouse that they were in. And I thought that was pretty funny. So, Crystal is the girl that they saved. She actually is going to St. Hilarions, where the two boys are going to follow her. And at the end, it happens here, where she goes to St. Hilarions, and there's a missing puzzle piece, which does not look so good for the future comic issue. So, really great and interesting stuff, actually. I highly recommend that you check Dead Boy Detectives. Just great stuff. I mean, if you're into ghosts and stuff like that, I would say it's a definite pickup for me from Vertigo Comics. So, that's a definite read. And here's another definite read of Archie Comics of Sonic Universe.
From Archie Comics.
Yeah, Archie Comics. Sonic Universe, issue number 59, the first part of Shadowfall, part 1 of 4.
Variant cover. And I actually enjoyed that book myself.
Absolutely. I mean, even though I'm more of a Sonic fan than a Shadow fan,
You like Sonic Shadow?
I have to admit, though, the story that it has with Shadow the Hedgehog, along with Omega and Rouge, which is right here, artwork is excellently drawn for this one. Gesundheit.
Guten Tag.
Yeah, so it starts off with Shadow and his team are fighting against these robots along with an army. And Shadow's not really that evil in this comic book. Like, I didn't really see him that much of an evil person. Like, for
you didn't
himself.
see it to be continued in what's coming.
We'll get to that.
I
So,
got
they go to the commander tower of the G1 commander, and he talks about...
you could say gun, Mike.
Gun. Yeah. But G1
Why did you
is
spell
gun.
it out?
Because it's initial, the G1.
No, it's gun.
Alright, well, gun.
No, I'm just playing with you.
I know. And, so he's talking about a crisis that is coming, which is a new Black Comet of the Black Arms, which actually, for those of you who played Sonic the Hedgehog video game, makes a reference of the Black Comet and the Black Shadow. I'm sorry, the Black Arms of who he was. And for those of you who recognize this character, he actually plays a role in this story. And they just want them to go there to check this out and infiltrate the new Black Comet. Find a way into the core and insert a nuclear device and all that other stuff, which all of them agreed to go in. So Shadow, being the leader, is heading there to see what's going on. And we get this new character who actually seems to be a brother of Shadow. And I was like,
Sonic.
Shadow had a brother. No.
Sonic.
It's this character right here.
Sonic.
That's not Sonic. I thought you read the book.
To meet you.
So yeah, so they're just going around.
It's Sonic.
And, you know, oh, also what's really interesting is that Shadow could actually, see, I hate when you mess me up, that he could read energy.
Sonic.
And, like, have a mind control and stuff.
Sonic.
Which is good. Will you be quiet? So, getting into that, Shadow just keeps going into battle while Rouge and Omega are trapped, where they're in a bad situation. Shadow tries to use Chaos Control, which doesn't work, and I'm thinking, okay, what's going on? And in the end, we get an introduction of Eclipse the Darkling, who seems to be Shadow's brother. And, yeah. Wow. Did not expect to see that in the comics. By the way, here's the next issue where Chris has been talking about Shadow Gone Evil. And I think it's gonna, Eclipse is gonna have some where he gets into his mind and possession.
Maybe.
And stuff like that. But who knows? I mean, wow. From Archie Comics, Book of the Week. Definite pickup. I mean, I'm not a Shadow fan, but it's something you should definitely check out for adventures and all that other stuff. And for those of you who are Shadow fans, then you'll definitely love the comic book. And that's all for me for the comic books, so guess it's your turn.
We have 7 books this week digitally, and the first one I'd like to just throw out there, of course, is Garfield, the issue number 21. It's the 2014 New Year comic. It's an awesome comic. It has some funny moments, especially with the cat. You remember the cat that was always afraid of everything?
Yep.
And Garfield tries to help him. I love the first story. I love the artwork of the first story. The secondary story, I'm not a fan of the artwork.
I saw the second story. It's like, the second story.
And then you get some extras like the Sunday classics for Garfield and some Garfield like pinups and whatnot, which I enjoy. Garfield, again, for me, is a guilty pleasure, but you gotta love Garfield. Without Garfield, there is no fun in life, I guess that's what you could say.
Indeed.
That's just once again a throw out. Another throw out, I'm going to run into Dark Horse really quick, is the Star Wars issue number 0. For those of you that have been following along the Lucas Draft Star Wars, the Star Wars basically is the original script. It's based on the original rough draft screenplay by George Lucas for Star Wars, before we got Star Wars. So that's why they call it the Star Wars, or you could just say the Lucas Draft Star Wars. And it's completely different from the original Star Wars. In issue 0, basically, it's not part of the story. It's basically sketches, character bios, vehicles, starships, everything. The Sith, the fighters, the Imperial Star Destroyers, pilots, everything. Costume designs, character designs, planet designs, cover designs, variant designs, everything. Basically, it's your encyclopedia. It's like a rundown of all the little things. Like it bookmarks and it shows you little sketch
it has,
pages.
like, some nice stuff in there.
And then there's a couple of pages for artwork that's in the book. And that's about it.
It's really mostly pictures and what's going on, from what I'm seeing.
Yeah, basically it's pictures, sketches, and bios and variant covers.
So this must have been a quick read.
And very quick. But if you are reading the book, then you will really, really be enjoying. You'll really like. It's very informative. Issue number 0. So that's up to you guys. Let's see, what else do we have from Dark Horse this week? Is this Dark Horse? I believe it is.
Is it?
Yes, it is. The Occultist, issue number 4, which is your book.
And that's my book. So, The Occultist was really, like, all over the place. Like, it talks about where, from last issue we saw that he went past the gates, which unleashed demons. This girl, what's her name? I think Anna, her name is? Yeah. She learns about going into the spirit, and her, along with this old guy and some other people, are trying to talk him out of saying, like, don't listen to her and all her things she's telling you. They're all lies. And the girl, Luca, I think her name is, she tries to say, oh, don't listen to them. They're all being, they're all illusions. Like, they're not really saying the truth. She gets sucked into the other zone. And with his sword, he tries to get her out with the energy, but couldn't. But something creepy 6 or 8-legged freak comes out of that gateway as he's trying to reach in for her with the energy, and that freak of nature thing got her where he tried to hold her. So she wants him to sacrifice for her, and he doesn't want to, but then after a while things just get a little bit too out of hand. I don't want to spoil it because you guys have definitely got to read it. But in the end, the Occultist, which I forgot what his name was, but they call him the Occultist now, he's not using his head very well after that little incident, and things aren't going to look good to be concluded for the next issue. Artwork is fantastic, by the way, so oh boy, he's going out for revenge, and I don't know how he's going to snap out of it, but I got to find out in the next issue what happens. But
the grand finale, I guess you could say.
I guess so. I mean, I've been enjoying reading The Occultist. I hope they still keep going with their story, but for those of you who have been reading Occultist, I mean, it's really awesome reading. For those who haven't, you really should just give it a chance.
I think these two books are related to Hellboy.
That one, a little bit.
Baltimore, yeah. Chapel of Bones, issue 1 of 2. This is all you, man, because I just grabbed it because it's Hellboy
When
related.
I was reading this story, it really talked about the character of Baltimore. Like, there's these 3 guys at a bar who talk about Baltimore and how they're waiting for him because there was, like, I think a letter or something that they were waiting for him. And then there's this guy at the bar who shows them, like, this painting of Baltimore, and they have a little bit of a... Like, really, he's been known as a really huge character for this guy who was seen on the cover. And he talks about how he wanted to... he wanted to destroy Baltimore. And he wanted to see him. Because, the guys are the ones that wanted to speak to Baltimore. Because he had issues that he wanted to... Because he wanted to destroy him, like before. Thus the painting, which... He summons all the demons, and there's lots of action with the demon fights and everything.
Little talk with the action part.
Yeah, and in the end, that's Baltimore entrance.
Baltimore, yeah, basically Baltimore arrives, but all hell's already broken loose apparently.
So, I'll give the guy that guy's name, the one that we saw on the cover, because I don't believe I caught the name of that character.
That's okay.
But yeah, I mean, his friends have been waiting for him, and so has the guy. So welcome in to hell, I guess. But it was very interesting, I would have to say, for Chapel of Bones of Baltimore. So.
This is an interesting book, and I don't even know how we got a hold of this one. Grindhouse, Doors Open at Midnight, issue number 4. Prisoner Ship, Antares, Part 2. Shanks for the Memories. Ha ha.
Yeah. I found this in the beginning to be weird. Oh, and there is, however, nudity and language, so I prefer adults to read this comic book. Definitely.
Although I have no idea why, unless you're a guy and you really want to see boobs.
Yeah, that's to each.
Boobs!
Yes.
Grindhouse boobs.
So, in this story, it gets a little bit weird in the end where they're singing and getting rid of these alphabet people.
Now I know why you like this book.
And then they meet up with this warden woman who is really, she's
sadistic.
Very sadistic. Like, you know, like she throws them off to Jupiter because of action that they performed with her. You know, like, not with her, like against her. Like, they had like this huge fight against her, so she sends them off to Jupiter. And this little girl, it looks like a little girl, is with them. And she's trying to find a way to either go back to Earth or to stay in outer space. They agreed to stay in outer space after finding this place because one of the alphabet members, I don't know who they were, they remind me of putties from Power Rangers for some odd reason.
Or cyborgs.
Or cyborgs in that case. To show them where this control room was, where he led them to find that they didn't want to go back to Earth, they wanted to stay in outer space, or Jupiter, or was it Saturn?
Outer space.
Oh, it was outer space, really. I think it was Jupiter.
It was an interesting book.
Yeah, it was very interesting. It was kind of a little bit
I
weird.
didn't read it, I'm just saying.
Yeah, it was kind of weird here and there, but once again, definitely recommend it for adult readers.
Let's talk about the best book this week, in my opinion. Terminator Salvation, The Final Battle, issue 2 of 12, 10 issues to go. And this connects everything together. So, the Terminators are looking for Marcus, let me get the right name, Marcus Wright. Because they want to transform him into a half cyborg, basically to work for Skynet. They want to take his brain, stick it in a cyborg, let him befriend John Connor, and then kill him. That doesn't work out. However, Dr. Serena Kogan in the present is being checked out by the Terminators from the future because they're going to cure her.
Terminators. Right.
Because they offer to cure her. And there's a whole story about how Skynet reached out to her a year back and told her, if you help us, we'll cure your cancer. And we don't know who from Skynet sent it. All we're finding out is that I forgot who's the soldier that was sent into the past. Whoever John Connor sent back, he is looking for the serial killer for Marcus. And the 2 of the 3 Terminators are. The 3rd Terminator is with Dr. Kogan, and they're setting things up for the for Marcus. And then we jump into the future, where they're preparing for their grand, as the book says, final battle. And it turns out, spoiler alert here, Dr. Kogan opens up the time portal, and she's actually the one. I'm skipping a lot of action scenes here. You got to read this book. But she is the one that wrote to herself in the past.
Yeah. So after I saw that, I was like, wow.
This has been spectacular so far.
Like, basically, the whole story is that they want to just destroy Skynet. To just
in the future, in 2029, yeah, they just want to destroy Skynet and get the Earth
just to
back.
wipe it out, because that's been the cause of this whole Terminator war. And now they enter the final battle. And that's going to be a huge, humongous issue.
It's going to be very interesting. It brings everything together from the Terminator storylines. Will this be the last book? I guess we'll have to wait and find out. It would be interesting to see how the whole fight, how the whole Terminators versus humans ends. Because at some point, one side has to win, and I'd love to read the issue where that happens, at least.
Absolutely.
And finally, by the way, that's my book of the week, personally. And then finally, a book coming out of Dynamite this week. It's an issue 1, Legendary.
Yep.
Not Derry, Derry, D-E-R-R-Y, not D-A-R-Y.
Yes.
So how is Legendary, Mike? Because you read it. It's a very steampunk-esque book.
Yeah, like, this story, like, it just starts off, like, with a lot of dialogue, but it really gets to a scene...
Yeah, that's why I couldn't finish reading it this week.
Yeah. It got to a scene where there's this woman who comes in frantically scared, like, saying, you know, like, this and this was going on. And there are these guys with masks, with armed guns that are there after she comes in. And, oh, what's her name? That woman that he's talking to. Because she plays, like, a really, interesting role in this, like, can't remember her name. I am so sorry, I am bad with names. Well, basically, she's, you know, like, she is trying to give them options to either walk away or she would have to take care of business. And she's the boss, actually, of this place that they are in. So, with her not wasting any time, she gets mad enough that she, one by one, turns into this assassin that actually kills all of them. Like she just took them out one by one. Like, you did not want to mess with...
She tore them apart, literally.
Literally, limb from limb, and not one of them, she didn't want them to leave because of, you know, all the pain and injuries that they must have caused for the past, for what they did to women, and she didn't like that, so she just killed them. Then there's a police officers that come to see the scene, and she covers herself saying, oh, they just came in and stuff happened that, you know, she didn't say that she did it because, you know, that would be, you know, a little too easy. And there was like the scar that they left on these men that are very identical and similar to
Almost
each other.
could swear they're clones.
Exactly, and that's going to actually play a role in this comic book to find out that. And the woman who came in, she actually stays with them because I guess she doesn't have anywhere else to go, so she stays with them, for that matter. And as the story keeps going on, it gets very interesting where there's this one guy who goes into the park to meet up with someone who I believe is very like in a similarity of knowing about this event happening.
And something that's really interesting, in the next issue it says Green Hornet and Kato.
So after I read that
has
something.
me interested in jumping back and jumping into this book. I missed out on reading part 1, but I'll read part 1 and 2 at the same time if I have to, because this looks really good.
And although it was very graphic and it was great artwork, it was a great story, even though I could not get names for the life of me, but if you guys read the book, you'll understand what I'm talking about, or what we're talking about actually in comic books, because we are so sorry. We're just terrible with names. That's the wrong one.
We are. Oops. Well, I know we have one of each.
Yeah. But really good stuff to read, actually. And basically, that book was actually something that deserves the title of Legendary, I would say.
So all good books this week. It was a very short week. Next week is also kind of a short week. A little bit more, I think, physical copies. I think we have next week. Yep. About the same digital copies. But then in 3 weeks, 2 weeks from now, 2 episodes from now, it's going to blow out with a lot of issues. So you guys prepare yourselves. We'll warn you again next week. Okay, guys, also don't want to forget to remind you guys about the big move. Dark Avenger Inc. will be moving on February 11, 2014. We will be becoming Comic Frontline. So that's youtube.com/Comic Frontline. Already, comicfrontline.com, if you type that in, it'll send you to our blogger. And on the blogger, we have tons and tons of content already. We're looking to build Comic Frontline up to basically to build it up as high as Dark Avengering, then go further
and
than
beyond that.
So
that
is possible.
If that's possible.
So if you haven't already, please do slide over to the YouTube channel at least and give the channel a sub. This way you don't miss out on a single video when we start doing them. Trailers and teasers and yeah, trailers and teasers. I'll call them trailers and little pop videos here and there, introducing new series or reintroducing series we already do, are going up as we speak. So if you'd like, that's why I say go click that sub button. This way you'll be seeing all those videos as they're being posted up. Also, there's a site behind me over here, comicrelated.com. So don't forget to check out comicrelated.com, comicfrontline.com, and darkavengerinc.com. All three of us are your #1 source for comic-related news, reviews, and a whole bunch more. However, Dark Avenger Inc., like I said, by February 11, 2014, will be done, and then it'll just be comic-related and Comic Frontline. We are working very closely with Comic Related, so basically you can't say Comic Frontline without saying Comic Related, and hopefully real soon you won't be able to say Comic Related without saying Comic Frontline as well. So we're meshing and fusing up the two websites into one gigantic, awesome website.
Yep.
So until next time, guys, don't forget to also, if you have any, if you like what you see here and you haven't already, there's a sub button floating around somewhere around this video. So please click the sub button. This way I'm in your subscription feed and you don't miss out on a single review I do or we do or any other type of video. We had we had a whole video this week, and then we had the special video this week. Also, there's going to be a Comics Point 2 coming up really soon, so stay tuned for that. But until then, guys, keep reading, keep collecting, and
keep watching.
And we will see you guys in the next review. Take care, everybody.
Later, guys.